Hello friends, this is Hasiba. Welcome to today's session on Kolmogorov-Smirnov goodness of fit test. Already we have solved problems in module 3 on KS test, right? So to check whether the numbers are uniformly distributed or not, right? So the same thing we are applying here to check whether the data is good in order to carry out any simulation process or not. So the KSR test, it is basically used when the sample size data is very small and when no parameters have to be estimated from the given data, right? Say for example, let us take one example problem here. Suppose the 50 inter-arrival times are collected over the following 100 minutes interval, right? So this is the given data. So they are collecting 50 inter-arrival times in minutes, right? So 100 values are given here. So use KS goodness of fit test to check for acceptance or rejection, right? So same thing how we did for chi-square goodness of fit test and also for exponential distribution goodness of fit test. The same way here we are using our KS test in order to check whether the data is fit for simulation or not. So the solution goes like this. We have two hypotheses here. H0 is the inter-arrival times are exponentially distributed. H1 is the inter-arrival times are not exponentially distributed, right? So the data is collected as given in the question above. It is collected from 0 to t, that is 0 to 100 minutes. So since the given data is from t1 to t 100 minutes, so what we are doing here is it is the inter-arrival time, right? So for the first interval time will be as it is, right? So for the second interval times we have to add the two values, right? So the arrival time. So in order to calculate the arrival time, right? So the arrival time in order to calculate the arrival time, right? So we have to add the consecutive inter-arrival times. So that is what we are doing here. So the inter-arrival times will be, the first one will be T1, whereas the second one will be T1 plus T2, right? So third one will be T1 plus T2 plus T3. Fourth one will be T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4, right? So like that you have to keep on adding all the inter-arrival times which are given, right? So 50 values are given, right? So keep on adding all the inter-arrival times so that you will get the current arrival time, right? So the arrival times are normalized between 0 to 1 and the 0 to 1 interval, and it is given as below. T1 out divided by T, T1 plus T2. So the first interval time is T1 divided by T, right? So we know that T is 100 minutes they have given, right? So T1, the first value in the given problem, we had it as 0.44. So what we have to do, we have to divide it by 100. So 0.44 divided by 100, I will get it as 0.0044, right? So this is the first value, right? So in order to obtain the second value, we have to use the formula T1 plus T2 divided by T, right? So just add the two values in the question, T1 plus T2, that is 0.44 plus 0.53. So if you add 0.44 plus 0.53, you will get it as 0.97. So 0.97 divided by 100 we have to do. So 0.97 divided by 100, we will get it as 0.0097. The same way here, we'll be adding T1 plus T2 plus T3, right? So same procedure you have to continue. For the fourth value, add 4 inter-arrival times so that you will get the arrival time divided by 100, right? So like this, we will be obtaining all the values, right? So first step is we have to calculate the arrival times from the given values, right? So second step is we have to follow the procedure which we were doing for the goodness of a fit test, right? So here we'll be using the KS test, right? So we know that in KS test we were using two types of deviation. One is positive deviation and negative deviation. So D plus is the positive deviation and D minus is the negative deviation. So D plus will be equal to I divided by capital N minus Ri, right? So this formula you have to use I by N minus Ri. Here the value of N is your 50 because 50 values they have given. So I divided by N. So 1 by 50 minus Ri. Ri is nothing but the first arrival time what you have selected here, 0.0044, right? So 1 by 50 minus 0.0044, 2 by 50 minus 0.0097, right? So like that for all the values you will do, right? So then we have to calculate the max of D plus, right? So we will get it as 0.1054, right? So hope you have understood. Just use the formula. D plus will be equal to I divided by capital N minus Ri, right? So I will go from 1 to 50. So 1 divided by 50, 2 divided by 50, 3 divided by 50, like that. Minus Ri is nothing but all the arrival times, whatever you have got in the table above, right? So all these arrival times you have to take, right? So all the 50 arrival times you will be taking, and you have to calculate the d plus, right? So the same way, use the formula for d minus. D minus formula is Ri minus I minus 1 divided by capital N, right? So it is not printed here in the textbook. The formula is Ri minus I minus 1 divided by capital N, right? So use that formula and calculate all the d minus values, right? So then you have to find the max of d plus and max of d minus, right? So whatever you get max of d plus and d minus, that is those values are written here. So max of d plus you will get it as 0.1054, and max of d minus you will get it as 0.0080. Okay, the third step is a d, which is equal to max of d plus comma d minus, right? So d will be equal to max of d plus comma d minus, which is 0.1054 is max of d plus, max of d minus is 0.0080, right? So maximum of these two, we will get the deviation, which is nothing but your d. So d, I'll get it as 0.1054, right? So fourth step is to find out the critical value alpha, right? So the critical value of your deviation d, right? So it is obtained from the table A2, right? So please refer the table whichever is given in your third module notes, right? So which is for KS test. KS test, we had one table, simulation table, the same table you have to refer here, right? So if you refer, you will be able to find out the critical value of d alpha, right? So d alpha, the critical value, they have given it as 0.05 is the alpha value, right? So critical value d alpha is, we have to calculate for d of 0.05, right? So they are given here, alpha value is equal to 0.05 and the number of samples n is equal to 50, right? So d alpha value, you will get it as 0.1923, right? So now from this you have to compare the d with the d alpha. If d is less than d alpha, right, so then the data or the sample will be accepted, otherwise it will be rejected, right? So when I compare 0.1054 with 0.1923, right, so I will get that d is less than d alpha, right? So since d is less than d alpha, the hypothesis that the interarrival times are exponentially distributed cannot be rejected, right? So that means we are checking whether they are exponentially distributed by making use of the KS test, right? So the data that the hypothesis that the data can the hypothesis that the interarrival times are exponentially distributed, it cannot be rejected, right? So cannot be rejected means you are accepting the data that it is exponentially distributed, right? So like this you have to solve the problem on KS test, right? So I repeat, it is very simple. Just to see the data will be your interarrival times, right? So you have to add all these. The first value will be as it is divided by the total time. Total time is 100 minutes here. If you add all the values, right? So they are given, they are collected over the following 100 minutes interval, right? So use that as capital T. So T1 divided by T will be the first value. In order to calculate the second arrival time, it will be T1 plus T2, right? So the previous two interarrival times you have to add using this formula and then divided by T, right? So the first step is you will do this and you will get all the values. So once you get all the 50 values, what you have to do, you have to make use of the formulas for D plus and D minus. So the formula for D plus, I minus N minus Ri, the formula for D minus will be equal to max of Ri minus I minus 1 by N, right? So whichever is the max value, we will be writing it as a d plus, max value of d minus will be written, right? So then finally find a d. The formula for d was d is equal to max of d plus comma d minus, right? So take that maximum value, compare with your critical value, which you will get it from d alpha, right? So if it is lesser, then it cannot be rejected. If it is greater, then the hypothesis will be rejected, right? So these are the three types of problems we have under input modeling, right? So we have seen input modeling for chi-square test, how to do, right? So then input modeling for exponential distribution, right? So one was input modeling for chi-square goodness of fit test, right? So goodness of fit test, we saw the first problem under chi-square test, right? So how to solve this problem, I've already explained in the previous video, right? So just refer that. We'll be calculating the Poisson values, right? So then we will be finding out the observed frequency, expected frequency, then compare with the critical values alpha, right? So next we had again goodness of fit test for exponential distribution, right? So chi-square test. So the chi-square test is used for exponential distribution, right? So same thing we were using, right? So the formula we used was for exponential distribution. So find out AI, which is minus 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus pi, right? Same thing we used to calculate the class intervals, and finally check the critical value alpha and compare it with the check the given value and compare it with the critical value alpha, right? So the same way we used to solve this problem. So the third type of problem was by making use of the KS goodness of fit test, right? So these are the three different type of problems, but repeatedly asked problem is your chi-square test for goodness of fit. That is the first one, right? So where we will be calculating y minus ei the whole square, right? So you have to concentrate on the first type of problem more, right? So it is repeatedly asked. So the last topic in your fourth module and also in your syllabus is fitting a non-stationary Poisson process, right? So fitting a non-stationary Poisson process to arrival data, it is a difficult problem, right? So one approach is to choose a very flexible model with lots of parameter and fit it with a method such as a maximum likelihood. So a second method is to approximate the arrival rate as being constant over some basic interval of time, such as hour or a day or a month, but varying from time interval to time interval, right? So what he says here is for any non-stationary Poisson process. This we have already seen stationary and non-stationary in our third module, right? So we were dividing the Poisson process into two types, stationary Poisson process and non-stationary Poisson process, right? So in order to fit the data for any non-stationary Poisson process, it is very difficult, right? So that is why what we do here is we make use of one more method where we can go for data approximation. So we will be dividing the time interval into k equal intervals of length, right? Delta t will be equal to t by k, and then we have the lambda t, which is equal to, the formula is 1 by n into lambda t sigma j minus 1 into j minus 1 to the 2n Cij, right? This we'll see with the problem. The problem is very simple here. Consider the following table which records the number of calls received in a company. To estimate the rate for each time period, we use this formula. So they have given the time interval as half an hour here, 9 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10, 10 to 10 to 10:30, right? So we have half an hour duration. So just change here, this is 10 to 10:30, right? So every interval is half an hour. So we are estimating the number of arrivals. So number of arrivals on day 1, it was 9 to 9:30, 12 people have come, right? So day 2, 14 have come, day 3, 10 have come, right? So like this, the data will be given. Just you have to make use of this formula, which is lambda cap of t is equal to 1 divided by n into delta t sigma j minus sigma j is equal to 1 to n Cij, right? So what we are doing here is lambda cap of t is equal to 1 divided by n, right? So n means what? How many number of days they have given, right? So they have given 3 days, so it will be 3 into delta t. Delta t here is nothing but the time interval of the data. So the time period or the time interval of data, delta t, it is equal to half, right? So because every day it is, the interval is for half an hour, right? So 3 into 1 by 2, what is n? N is nothing but the number of days the data is recorded, right? So this is n is equal to 3 because there are 3 days data is recorded, and delta t is nothing but the time interval, right? So then what we have, Cij. Cij is nothing but, you just have to add the summation of 12 plus 14 plus 10, right? So 12 plus 14 plus 10, if you add and divided by 1 divided by 3 into 1 by half, you will get the values as 24, 54 and 52, right? So like this you have to calculate, right? So then we can see that the second and the third period, right? So the second, that is 9:30 to 10 and 10 to 10:30, we have the values as 54 and 52, right? They are very close to each other and hence they can be combined, right? And also we can apply the goodness of fit tests which we have studied, that is the chi-square test and also chi-square test for exponential distribution and also KS test for checking the KS test for exponential distribution, right? So these goodness of fit test can be applied to the data, right? So from each interval individually in order to check for the Poisson approximation, right? So this is how we have to do for non-stationary Poisson process, right? So the last topic of your syllabus is selecting input models without data. So even when the data is not available, we should have some way in order to extract the data, right? So when the input model is not available, what are the different procedures or what are the different ways how we will be collecting the information? The first method is engineering data. So performance rating of a process or a product, right? So based on the rating of a process or a product, the company rules or production standards, they provide a starting point for input modeling by fixing a central value, right? So the first method of selecting input model without data is by using engineering data, right? So what do you mean by engineering data? Engineering data is nothing but whatever data that is collected by making use of the ratings, right? So the ratings of a process, the ratings of a product, right? So, or you can use any company rules or production standards, right? So, in order to fix the starting point for input modeling. The second one is expert option, right? So expert option is nothing but the person who is already an expert in that particular process, or a person who has already used that particular product. So experts can say whether the process is constant or it is a source of variability, or whether it is a variable process, right? So next, a physical or conventional limitation is the third method of selecting input models, right? So when you don't have data, that is physical limitations on performance. For example, computer data entry, right? So cannot be a faster than a person can type, right? So because of company policy, there could be upper limits on how long a process may take. Therefore, we should not ignore the limits or bounds that narrow the range of input process, right? So physical or conventional limitations, right? So based on the limitations also, we can select the input data. So the last one is we can select the input data by making use of the nature of the process, right? So nature of the process is nothing but we can select any type of distribution, right? So the different types of distribution, whatever we have studied, uniform, triangular, right? So we can select any type of distribution, and based on the type of based on the type of distribution that particular data belongs to, right? So we can extract or we can select the data. So we can select the data for simulation, right? So like this, we can select the input models without the data. So this is repeatedly asked exam question for 4 marks. What are the different ways of selecting input models without the data, right? So we can select input models without data by using engineering data, or by using expert option, right? So we have physical or conventional limitation, or by based on the nature of the process, right? So this problem they have never asked how to calculate the KS goodness of fit test, right? So, and also they have never asked the exponential distribution for chi-square test, right? So repeatedly asked exam question is chi-square goodness of fit test. That is the first type, right? So this goodness of fit test for chi-square, right? So this is repeatedly asked exam problem, right? So try to concentrate on this part, right? So if you study till here, that is selecting input models without the data, that is more than enough, right? So one more important question in your fourth module is on estimators, right? So what are the different suggested estimators which are used in simulation, right? So you have to write this table: Poisson distribution, different types of distribution, what are the different parameters used, and what are the different suggested estimator. This is one question problem on chi-square test, right? Input models without data, and also they will be asking you as to this first part as to what are the different methods of data collection, right? So what are the different methods of collecting data for input modeling, right? Then you have to explain these 4 points. So this completes your syllabus and also your fourth module, which is input modeling. Thank you.